Hey Virgos, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your April reading. April promises to be a really big month. Big life-changing events are beginning to occur. We're right now, I'm recording this at the end of March, and we're kind of sitting still, right? I had to actually move around some rooms in my house and make a little bit more space for me to be able to work at home, which is kind of the change of venue here. But there was something about when I was doing it, and now I have to tell you, my son is in Virgo, so, and like, you know, all the other planets. So I identify so much with Virgos, and there's something about the art of preparation, the getting ready, you know, making something perfect. And even though I was going through this major uphaul, this change in the way that, change in my routines and my daily habits and where I work and how I work and what hours I work, and you're juggling kids that are always home and you're just looking for a quiet space. And it could be frustrating for a Virgo because it's kind of like you're losing your footing. You know, things are being shaken up right now, and that's hard for a Virgo because we like our routines, because we have systems in order that, you know, we do get thrown off when those get thrown off, but at the same time, you have to tap into that mutability of Virgo. And there's a creativity that's ignited in us because now we get to figure out new routines. We get to set up new places. You know, I know for me, the preparation of creating an office I could work in here at home, kind of adapting to the way things are now, going with the flow and making the necessary changes and actually enjoying them, allowing yourself to enjoy them is really what we're being asked to do at this time. So here I am early in the morning reading tarot, talking to spirit, which is my favorite thing in the world. And I'm finding this time, these particular details in my life, maybe some seeds that I planted are really coming to fruition, and I'm feeling really happy. And I'm picking up on that for Virgos too. Even in the midst of chaos, there's a spot where we're starting to find who we are. We're starting to really enjoy ourselves. We're finding passion again in things that may have seemed mundane or exhausting or repetitive. So it's a really creative time for Virgos, and that's what that Saturn-Pluto conjunction in your 5th house did. It created a situation in which you have to lean on your creativity, your passion, your spark, your heart, where the Virgo thrives, really, in the creating of something new, the preparation of something that's just beginning. Couple things, I do want to remind everyone that although everything is about this Aries new moon in your 8th house, which we're going to talk about a lot, I think that we're still reminded that we're in the energy of the Virgo full moon for another couple of weeks. And that's really all about how important the details are. Now, if you look collectively, we had a full moon in Virgo, and suddenly you started to see the importance of data, especially health data, our body, our health, our immune systems. The way that they used data to talk to the collective. You saw a lot of graphs, right? Everything is now about this graph that we're all looking at every single day and all these numbers. And the full moon was all about how quickly we can obtain the information which is about to change drastically, believe me, as the North Node moves into Gemini. You know, now we're discovering holes in the system when it comes to data and how fast we get it. And that's all going to get fixed as the North Node moves into Gemini, and it harnesses the energy of the need for fast information and being able to process it. But Virgo pointed it out. She pointed out the details that we're lacking, and how we may be able to change and save ourselves by really looking into the details. We're still in that energy, and I'm noticing that in my job. All of the sudden, things that we thought were normal everyday things, like having to change policies and procedures for cleaning, you know, how to properly bleach and disinfect where maybe, you know, it was once a week, now it's daily. Those kind of themes are still very much prominent for the next couple of weeks in our life. And so although there's a freeing feeling like we're all sitting at home, stuck here doing nothing, I think there's some sort of a illusion that everyone's laying around in their sweatpants watching Netflix, and you might be, because the time in which you would normally go out and socialize with your friends, that's what you're doing. But I think for the rest of us, we're actually having to change a lot, review a lot of details. Mercury is still in Pisces. Now it's just about to clear its shadow period, which means we're stepping into new territory. We're getting new information, new insights are coming in, but it's still in Pisces, so we're still pretty hazy. Pisces, being your 7th house of partnerships, might be a really tricky area at this time that you're navigating. But rest assured, answers will come this month, directions will be chosen, and movement will be made. Let's talk about that Aries New Moon, because it's in your 8th house. And when big transits occur in the 8th and 12th house, they're deeply profound and emotional. And they're very much, 8th house talks about your fears. And the 8th house sun squaring all of that Capricorn energy, as the sun moves through the end of the month, I think there's going to be a lot of realizations and an awakening about how you hold yourself back, how your fears, how you've allowed your fears to hold you back from, you know, creative endeavors, what your heart really resonates with, 5th house. And there's a deciding, there's a balancing in who we have to be and how we have to tackle that. Uranus and Venus in your 9th house, you know, I tell you all the time, your beliefs are being completely overhauled right now. Where you may have been rigid certain ways in your life, your universe just simply won't tolerate, and it's being changed, and Uranus is cleaning it up. Venus is going to move into your 10th house, and it's going to remain there for 4 months. So Virgo, this is a big time for your career. And when I talk about your career, it involves communication, and it involves creativity, authenticity, and the need to completely step away from your fears and be open. And that's what the universe is working on you with right now, your ability to open. And when I look at these cards, I'm going to post a picture. The thumbnail is going to now be a picture of your reading. I think that's the best way to do this right now. And I apologize. You have to work with me on these setups as I try to continue to improve. But right now, the most important thing is getting the messages out there at this critical time. See, Virgo, I'm being very critical of myself right now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Break that habit. But the way that the cards laid out, there's a beautiful Empress card in the center. It's all bright and yellow, and it's really all about stepping into the power of who you are and the ability to know that what you dream can very well come true just simply by attracting it to you. It's about establishing that correct vibration in which you're bringing in the things that truly resonate with you. But when you look at the layout, the entire card, all of the cards are this beautiful blue. So when I tell you that communication is key right now, you're working through an area in your life. And third house Scorpio, it's hard for Virgos to communicate their emotions and their feelings. Now, they might come off as critical. They might be great at giving advice, but opening up to others really in an intimate way, talking about their fears, talking about their imperfections. Virgos like to make sure that they look like everything's okay, and if anybody else needs help, they're braced for helping others. Their lives might be an absolute shit show, but you're probably not going to know about it. And that's what has to change right now. There's an opening up for my Virgos here. And I think you need to focus on communicating your emotions a little bit more. And here's why. We got 2 cards for you for the overall energy. Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Wands upright. This is all about balance. This is all about how are you balancing your passion and your drive with your emotions and your dreams. Knight of Wands is very romantic. It's very nostalgic. It's really the big booming displays of emotional love, you know. And that seems to be blocked for you. Like you're not allowing yourself to dream. Now, the Prince of Wands tells me you're really braced for movement. You are really, and the Knight of Wands comes up twice in this reading. So it tells me that you're willing to move after things that really ignite your passion. But you're not quite willing to address the emotional ends of it. Maybe there's something you're not willing to look at or communicate about. And so you're moving towards kind of wherever your heart leads you. But there's emotional stuff that has to be worked through before you could strike that perfect balance, before you could strike that perfect vibration in which you start to just bring things to you. Now the first line, 8 of Wands in reverse, the Devil in reverse, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. There's a blockage here for sure. A blockage in communication. There might have been a ending. The Devil in reverse tells me that a very karmic cycle has come to an end. And you may have blocked a person or a situation. Queen of Wands in reverse, leaving you somewhat cold, leaving you feeling like you need to protect yourself. So you have this air about you of power, like you're able to go out and get, you can provide for yourself. Queen of Wands is very much about protecting herself and what is hers. But in reverse, she's a little overprotective, a little overbearing, and a little bit cold. And that could be due to bringing whatever closure came into your life. But that's over. I feel like that drama is over, and now you're just starting to get settled into new ways, into the new person that you are, maybe settled into a feeling of independence. And but you're still carrying these burdens. You're still carrying emotional baggage. And in the next couple of weeks, the universe is really going to tell you that it's time to drop it. It's time to release the burdens. It's time to step out of your own way and allow. This is all about the allowing, because what you're able to attract to you, if you drop this, if you release the way that things have always gone in the past, if you're willing to do things differently, if you're willing to talk, if you're willing to communicate, if you're willing to discuss with that person what you truly want, what you really deserve, how things need to go, stand in your power. But also, you know, the Empress is not cold. The Queen of Wands is. But the Empress is not. She's very warm and inviting to the people that treat her right. To the people that are willing to believe in her, she actually brings them a tremendous amount of strength and passion. She encompasses all of the queens. She brings the stability, the dependability, the nurturing of the pentacles. She brings the emotional fulfillment of the cups. The queen, she is the essence of the Queen of Wands in her passion and her ability to attract what she needs. And the Queen of Swords, which knows what the vision is and how to move towards it. She stands in her own truth. And so the Empress empowers all of those people. And once you realize that by letting go to the past situations, the past traumas, and realizing that you've stepped into a brand new cycle here, things are not going to be the way they used to be. Relationships are not going to go the way that they used to go. And so when you're here, you attract this. This is everything. This is everything the Virgo has ever wanted. This is a happy home. This is the beautiful surroundings. This is the partner. This is the ability to nurture and care for people, you know, your children or your community. But it's the ability to have enough to give and share with others. And that's what you're attracting to you at this time. But because you haven't been willing to invest emotionally, to have those big emotional conversations and open up, because you haven't been able to say exactly what it is that you need, you come off Queen of Wands in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, as someone who's okay with things being casual. Let's talk about casual. This tells me that you might be in a situation in which you're giving the impression like you're okay without a commitment. You're okay not knowing where this is going, but you're not. And if you're coming across as this, you will not attract this. If you're dealing with someone who's in this energy of not being able to offer a commitment, just kind of going with whatever feels right at the moment, maybe making promises that you kind of know aren't going to come through, well, there's no more wasting time here in these situations. These situations have to either evolve with you or fall away so that the bigger things can come in. And while this person, Knight of Wands, whether it's you or another person, and for a lot of you I'm seeing this as another person, as he continues to, or you continue to take this mentality of, well, let's just keep juggling it and see what happens. Let's just keep weighing the pros and cons of the relationship. The divine steps in, and it's really just a matter of, it really does become whatever happens, happens. Because there's an awakening that's going to come in from spirit in some way, shape, or form. There might be a dream. You might hear a song. You might hear somebody say something in an elevator. You probably shouldn't be in elevators right now. That's not a whole, it's not like social distancing safe. But okay, whatever scenario you can imagine. You might overhear a conversation, see something in a movie, watch a commercial, something really gets through to you. It speaks to you. The divine steps in a way that sets everything in the right motion. And that's why I see judgment in reverse, as it doesn't matter what you want or what this person wants anymore. It's time to take action. You're going to be forced to take action. And I think the action is dropping the illusions and dropping the confusion and having to establish what this truly is. Libra, card of balance. All about the balance right now. And for Virgos, Libra is in your second house, your house of self-worth, your house of investments, your house of income, of money, of how you feel about yourself and the way that you accept treatment from others. It's what you attract. And there is a balancing taking place. There is a changing of your beliefs. Libra also rules Venus. Venus in your 9th house of beliefs. There's a changing in the way that you feel about yourself. There's a changing, and you know, it doesn't have to be, I know it's Aries season, so there could be a tendency, Queen of Wands, for you to run into a situation and just say, I'm not doing this anymore, you don't treat me right, I deserve better. And you might feel the need to do that in a way, but I urge you not to. Because the Empress doesn't make a scene. The Empress is all about grace. She's all about just simply not vibing with the lower energy. If someone's coming at the Empress, as a Knight of Wands, she's not giving you the time of day. It's not even a conversation. She doesn't even see you. There's a stepping into your emotional power, into what you're willing to give to others, what you're willing to invest in emotionally. And there's a level of discernment. Now, the thing is, I don't see a lot of swords, so I think these are lessons you've already learned and now you're implementing them. I don't see a lot of issues here in the way that you're thinking right now. I think you're right on track. And as the Hangman came up, and I mentioned that awakening, Venus, Taurus together with Uranus, you pulled the card of awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. So you are different now, and your relationships must reflect who you are now, or they just won't work. And then you get the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And this is such a powerful card, and it's coming up a lot in the way that the astrology, Jupiter meeting Pluto, Mars getting in the mix. We're in a lot of big energy we've never been in before. And it is a gigantic spiritual awakening for the collective, and there's a spiritual awakening within all of us. There's an awakening to how we do things, how we operate, what's important, what our priorities are. And as they change, we become these new people. We hatch, we open. We become open, we become vulnerable, we become who we truly are. Our inner essence, our inner being begins to shine outwardly, and we raise our vibration, and that's when the story begins. That's when the magic happens. That's when you begin to attract the things that really, truly are meant for you. These are the karmic gains that are coming your way. This is the final cleaning and the purging in which you're establishing what you want in your life. I think the universe is giving us a great deal of contrast at this time. Now, again, I'm coming to you at the end of March. Things are changing rapidly, and I promise you things will continue to change rapidly with the astrology. But Virgos, my mutable signs, you're in a real good place because there's flow. You're able to flow. And it's not just flow. My water signs can flow as well. My mutable signs are always flowing. They're always dealing with change and recreating. But I think my mutable signs stand out because not only can they flow with the changes, but they find ways to be really grateful for them. And that's what's going to be the game changer for you in April, is the level of gratitude that you have for the little things, the level of gratitude you feel for the things you don't have yet, and how important they are to your very existence, that they come to you. Final card is the energy that you're asked to step into at this time, and it's the card of the whale. I really love that. I really love that because in a way, before I read it, the message I'm getting is that we're moving really big things in our life. There's really big changes. And they're not happening fast because they're so big. But they're momentous. And I feel like the whale is forever. Let's read it. I can't wait to see what messages we're going to pick up here. Oh. Okay. Let's try to find it first. Yep. 8th house stuff, Virgo. 8th house stuff. Whale, desire to delve deeper, profound peace, and ancient wisdom. I'm going to hold this up for you. We love that purple. Ugh. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. When in balance, calm, steady, and deeply compassionate. To bring into balance, regular self-care. Oh, I'm sorry. And when out of balance, they feel heavy and they slip into the old story. We're not doing that anymore. We left that crap behind. That was so January. Not happening anymore. I think you're on a really beautiful journey, Virgo, and if you're feeling like things need to occur urgently, try to find some peace in the idea that nothing's happening urgently because the change is so big and so profound. And that what happens now, you won't ever be the same, but there'll be a level of appreciation for what you've gone through, for what you've persevered, for the way that you've stood up for yourself and stayed true to yourself. That's the overall theme here. I really hope you have a wonderful April. I'll be checking in throughout the month with some different and crazy ideas I'm having. So you'll definitely hear from me, but I really appreciate everything. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like at the end, that would be fantastic. Have a great month, Virgos. Bye.